Hello, bronies. That's right, it's here. This is the final review for season 6 of My Little Pony, and this episode is called Top Bolt. And I know it's weird for me to review a regular episode for the last episode of the season, especially since it's 5 days early, but when an episode gets leaked, I feel a desperate need to review it before anyone else. But let's get to the story. It's another Cutie Map episode as Rainbow Dash and Twilight Sparkle are called to Wonderbolt Academy to help solve a friendship problem between two recruits who are going through Trials Week in order to get into the actual academy. These recruits are Skystinger and Vapor Trail. Now, Vapor Trail actually helps Skystinger with his flying, but doesn't do much for herself, whereas Skystinger believes he's actually the best flyer there, when really he's getting assistance without him knowing it, and he has no ideas when it comes to the basic academics and fundamentals of flying. So it's up to Twilight and Rainbow Dash to help them out with their friendship problem and get them into the academy. So yeah, it's a fairly basic setup, but what I really like about this episode is that the relationships in this episode are handled very well, as Rainbow Dash and Twilight are two very different characters with two very different teaching styles that are fully on display, with Twilight being the more intellectual character and Rainbow Dash being the more forceful, hot-headed character, though it is downplayed due to her character development. And these two personality styles really mesh together well when it comes to them working as a team, and even for some comedic moments, such as the ones in the classroom scene. Not only that, but when it comes to the comedy, it's actually fairly well handled, with some of the best comedy bits coming from Spitfire. And her role as a drill instructor in Wonderbolt Academy is back, and let me tell you, it never gets old. I know some people might not like her character at all, but I find her utterly hilarious. And a lot of that has to do with her voice actresses and her energized performance. Speaking of performances, Skystinger and Vapor Trail's voice actors do a great job too. And they sort of remind me of the relationship between Varric and Zhu Li from Legend of Korra, where one's an arrogant blowhard who has legitimate talent but is full of himself, and one's more of a beleaguered assistant who really does like him, but she's overshadowed by him, even though she does really want to help him. Which is odd, because I consider Korra and Asami to be like Rainbow Dash and Twilight in this case. Yeah, just goes to show you how these two shows can really remind you of each other. So yeah, Skystinger's arrogant personality didn't exactly gel with me the right way, but I do understand more or less why he acted that way. Some people feel like they need to act arrogant and full of themselves when they're hiding insecurities. I've certainly known friends who have acted like that. And some other friends feel like they need to be in a subservient role, like Vapor Trails, in order for other friends to succeed to their fullest. So, when it comes to the actual conflict, I feel it was handled fairly well. And as far as the animation is concerned, I really love that we went back to Wonderbolt Academy. Most of the trial drills that you remember from Wonderbolt Academy, the episode, are here, including some new ones. The flying scenes are always beautifully animated, and they even put in some new tricks and new animation techniques when it comes to the actual flying patterns to keep the animation fresh and fluid. As far as the writing is concerned, there are even though there aren't a huge amount of jokes, there are a lot of great animated facial expressions, and there are a lot of good lines throughout. Heck, there's even a callback to the Rainbow Crash name that Rainbow Dash was given back in Newbie Dash. And I'll admit, that made me chuckle slightly. And plus there's another funny Pegasus pony who comes in from time to time, who gets some funny lines every once in a while. So yeah, Joanna Lewis and Christine Sonko are the writers for this episode, and they did just as good of a job here as they did with their previous works. It really makes me think that they're essentially the next Megan McCarthy, or Josh Haber, or M.A. Larsons for the show, giving consistently good, consistently well-crafted episodes that are familiar but interesting. Okay, one of the last things that I'll mention in this episode is mainly how this episode ended. This episode's ending is actually pretty funny, as it's as it has a callback joke to what happened in the first part of the episode. And it makes me wonder how often Rainbow Dash gets breaks when it comes to this Wonderbolt Academy thing. I am so curious. I'm guessing not a whole lot, considering that the Wonderbolts are essentially the military in this universe. Or the Blue Angels. Either one. So yeah, with great animation, good comedy, good interactions between the characters both old and new, and with a good message about how you should handle situations like this, while still keeping the core values of friendship and character intact, I give Top Bolt a 9 out of 10. And yeah, that's it for Season 6 of My Little Pony as far as my reviews are concerned. So I'll check back with you guys once Season 7 comes out, and hopefully I'll be with you when the My Little Pony movie comes out. Trust me, I'm going to have a lot to say about that. See you later.